Today we are going to talk about a fight between a stuntman who challenged Bruce Lee on the set of The Way of the Dragon in 1972, and Bob Wall was there and he witnessed the entire fight. Welcome to Bruce Lee Real Fight channel. The man on the left is Carter Wong. He was born in 1947, 7 years younger than Bruce Lee. Wong is a Chinese actor and martial artist who practiced different kinds of fighting styles including Kung Fu, Karate, Taekwondo, Judo, Muay Thai, Hapkido and some others. He was also a martial arts instructor for the Royal Hong Kong Police Department, and he has a few popular students including Sylvester Stallone, Sammo Hung, Jackie Chan and a few more to be mentioned. As an actor, he contributed to more than 70 martial arts films over the years. He also worked as a stuntman in many action films and was the fighting instructor for the 1988 movie Rainbow 3. So, what really happened between Wong and Bruce Lee? In 1972, Wong landed his first substantial movie role for the movie He Qi Dao. He Qi Dao is Hapkido in English. This movie was invested by Golden Harvest and most of the scenes were shot in Golden Harvest studio in Hong Kong. During that time, Bruce Lee was busy shooting the 1972 The Way of the Dragon. Although the movie was shot in Rome, huge part of the movie scenes were actually shot in Golden Harvest studio. According to Carter Wong, he was living at the studio during that time, and Bruce Lee had a fitness room in the studio. This is where both of them met up. Bruce Lee was already popular at that time because of the 1971 The Big Boss and the 1972 Fist of Fury. So when Wong saw Bruce Lee, he was curious about his real fight ability because Wong considered himself a real fighter. He then challenged Bruce Lee on the set of The Way of the Dragon. Of course, he was defeated by Bruce Lee and eventually became his student. Robert Wall, aka Bob Wall, was there and he witnessed the entire fight. Everybody keeps secret about this fight until recently, Wong went on a live stream and talked about his fight and his relationship with Bruce Lee. Let's listen to what he said about Bruce Lee. How was the fight between you and Bruce Lee? Many people ask me this question. To be honest, I can't even touch Bruce Lee because Bruce Lee is my senior and he was elder than me 7 years old. So I treated him like my brother, and during that time I was also his fan. I like to see his movement. I respect him a lot. And I don't think I'm qualified to fight with him. So many people were wondering how was the fight between me and Bruce Lee. It's impossible for me to touch him. Everything I said here today, it's truly from my heart. Bruce Lee is really the best. He is really the best during his time. How's Bruce Lee's real fight ability? He is absolutely great. During that time, I respected him a lot. Look at his movement, his speed. He adapts a lot of useful things and call it Jeet Kune Do. It's very straightforward and he could take down anyone in just a few seconds. He never wasted any time. Is Bruce Lee really that great? Of course. He was the best during that time. He was the best. Regardless of his speed, his body, his muscle, his power, his strength. He was really the best. We all respected him a lot, and when I could spend time with him, I feel I was really lucky. I always met him at Golden Harvest Studio because I was living at the studio. He had a fitness room in the studio and he often went to the studio and trained himself. When I was young, his brother Robert Lee was my best friend. So when Bruce Lee saw me, he knows who am I. And Robert Lee went to America and I went to America too. but we still mixed together. So Bruce Lee know I was his brother's friend. When he saw me at the Golden Harvest studio, he always called me, "Hey, come on, hold this punching bag for me and let's train together." When I trained with Bruce Lee, I learned a lot of real fighting skills. Bruce Lee was really good at real fighting. When you fight on the stage and go for a street fight are totally two different things. Every champion is different. Judo has judo's rules, karate has karate rules, and UFC MMA in America has a totally different rules. If a karate champion challenge a judo champion, things will be totally different. Is it possible for you to KO Bruce Lee? Of course it's impossible. Bruce Lee was elder than me 7 years old. He was my senior and I treated him like my brother. I respect him because he was the best during that time. And I learned a lot of things from him. He was not just good at martial arts. He was good in dancing and he was well educated too. Everyone knows about it. And Bruce Lee introduced Kung Fu to the world. Therefore, for me, the word Kung Fu represents Bruce Lee and Bruce Lee represents Kung Fu. So we should follow his step and continue to let more people know about Kung Fu. Was there any special thing you remember about Bruce Lee? In 1972, I was at Golden Harvest Studio. I was shooting for the movie Hapkido. And Bruce Lee was there to shoot The Way of the Dragon. The Big Boss and The Fist of Fury was a huge success during that time. Everyone know who Bruce Lee was at the time. And whenever someone met him at the studio, people often ask him how was the martial arts in the West and how good was Chuck Norris, because Chuck Norris was a world champion, world karate champion during that time. So people are wondering how good Chuck Norris was. Bruce Lee was very kind. He always explained to us different kinds of martial arts styles that we haven't seen before. And he even stand up and show us the movement, like how to punch, how to kick. Bruce Lee was a very active person when it comes to Kung Fu or martial arts. He was just one of the best person I have ever met in my life. When he started to talk about Kung Fu, he will never stop. And I remember he always practiced all the time. And he really inspired me. That's why I'm still training myself at the age of 75 today. If you are really interested in martial arts training, don't stop. No matter what is your age now, don't stop. Just keep training. Don't stop and don't look at your age. Age is never a barrier, as long as you stick to it. Bruce Lee adapted a lot of good skills from different kinds of martial arts styles. He learned different kinds of martial arts style and he knows different kinds of techniques. He showed me Chinese Kung Fu, Western boxing. He told me to learn different kinds of things and it doesn't matter because nobody would laugh at you. Did Chuck Norris ever fight Bruce Lee in real life? I never see they fight, but I have seen the 1972 The Way of the Dragon, where Chuck Norris fight with Bruce Lee in the movie. Chuck Norris was a karate champion for a couple years, and he was a close friend with Bruce Lee. And I believe Chuck Norris learned a lot of things from Bruce Lee. But did they really fight before? I don't know because I have never seen before. But they were always together, so I believe they actually spar before. But I have never seen before.